Welcome back to the channel. My name is Ryan, and again, we're discussing politics. Biden had a press conference. We're going to be discussing that. And again, since it's political politics, we have our glasses on this time. Here we go. There we go. You know what means business when we put these on. Usually, whenever I talk about this stuff, we jump right into the press conferences or any of the debates or any of my opinions about it and all that stuff, the political side. We jump straight into that. But I had a change of mind today. About 20 minutes ago, I was about to start this recording, and I saw a video pop up on my YouTube feed of the ESPYs that's going on. You might think, what's the ESPYs? If you don't know, it's ESPN Sporting Award. It's like a thing they do each year. It's for the awards that the ESPN Sports Broadcasting Network gives out. And they gave out an award to Nick Saban. And Nick Saban went through and he had a speech. And that just sent me down a rabbit hole of going back and watching Nick Saban's past speeches. If you don't know who he is, he's a 7-time national champion at the University of Alabama at football. Arguably the greatest college football coach. I think he is the greatest college football coach ever. But throughout the speech, he discussed what it takes to be a great coach, to be a great person overall. And I think coaching and being in a political office relates a lot. Because you work with a lot of different people. You have a very important job, and each person has to do their role to the best part of their ability. Do they ask for perfection? Yes, to the best you can do. Pretty much the best you can do. Your version of perfection is what we're asking for. And we would like perfection, but you can't get perfection because, again, in a country that is split, you can't find that. You just try to find common ground the best way you can. But here's a quote in here that Nick Saban was just talking about that his dad told him growing up. And I think it relates a lot to today. People won't remember what you say. They'll remember how you made them feel. That is something I think a lot of people look at our presidential candidates, the main ones are Donald Trump and Joe Biden, and they question a lot. We get what they say. We've known what they said for the past 4 to 8 years. Biden's been in the political realm for the past 40 years. Trump's been in the public eye since the first WrestleMania and before then. And now we're on WrestleMania 40, so it's been at least 40 years. We know what these guys' opinions are at this point. But most importantly, how do they make you feel? If one of them gets elected, which it's almost a guarantee one of them will, how will they make you feel? How does Biden make you feel as a president? Think about that. How did Trump make you feel as a president? Think about that. How do those two make you feel? Do they make you feel comfortable? Do they make you feel secure? Or they make you feel uncomfortable and not secure and questioning things that you probably shouldn't have questioned or you should not have to question a president about. And going on, Nick Saban went through and he talked about some of the most important characteristics you can have in a coach or as a person overall. Compassion for everyone. Do these presidents hold that compassion? I don't think so. Why? Because they hate each other. How can you have compassion for everyone when your guy that you're running against, you hate? You completely hate. And why? It's like, well, it's a rivalry against each other. And we can go back to 2016. Hillary and Donald did not like each other, but they had some respect for each other. They had a question come up of what, I remember, what do you respect about one another? I don't remember Hillary's response on top of my mind, but I do remember Donald Trump saying that Hillary Clinton was a phenomenal mother. Was a great mother and raised her kids very well. That is a respectable thing. When's the last time you heard any one of these two give a compliment about the other? You don't see that. How can you have compassion for us when you don't have compassion for your competitor? Anything of that nature. At least respect for your competitor. Another one, help another out. Help other people out. Do you feel like these other people help each other out? They say stuff, but you go to the lie detector test and you check the fact test and there's over 20 things that they've said that were factually wrong. So what they're saying might be lies, but how do they make you feel? Do you think they help each other out? Do you think they help the American people out? Next up, need to bring others together. Do they unite the country? I don't think they do. The way Donald Trump talks and the way Biden failure to talk divides a country in a way that I've not seen before. I don't think a lot of people have not seen before. First time in a long time we've had this much division in the country. We have to go back probably closer to the civil rights era to find division within the country. Because the idea of we can pull together as a country and we're going to unite together. And we had that comfort with a lot of presidents. We are going to be okay since they're at the helm. If it's 2 a.m. and something goes down, they got us. Whenever there's a big decision need to be made, they'll respect our opinions and they'll make the decision. We don't have that. I mean, when Donald Trump insults a lot of people and Biden fails to make competent decisions, you don't really get that type of comfort. And the togetherness, English language is difficult, the togetherness that we need as a country to unite. You don't have that. You got to earn respect. Have these people earned your respect? How do you earn respect is with your actions. Your words can say anything. You can say 1,000 words and none of them make sense to the human. You can say 1,000 words and only one language of people will understand. But you do one action and everyone in the world can make a judgment based off what you just did. That's why actions are so important. You don't have to hear to understand actions. When you go out, for example, let's say if Biden goes out and he looks lost out there and he visibly just does not look healthy to the slightest a bit. And no matter what he says, his actions, his body language is what's going to show. No matter your opinions about the guy, with his language, how he looks and how he acts are going to be the main things you're going to judge him off of. Same thing for Trump. Do you earn your respect that way? I think a great way for Biden to earn respect, which I think we're going to talk about on the political side of it, we can add somewhat what he said in the press conference to this. A lot of stuff he said in the press conference was very much just a repeat of what happened in the debate. He just said it more fluently. Talk about NATO, talk about how we got Finland and all of them to come together in NATO, and he sounded like he did all of it. Talking about the United States is a powerhouse that no one wants to mess with and all that. Talking about the border, even though he did the worst job of any president in the history of the presidents on the border. He's talking about how he's raised jobs up. I'm not sure how you're the one raising jobs when people can make jobs on their own. That shows no respect to us as people in the country. Why not give respect to people in the country that actually make the jobs? When's the last time you've seen Biden go out there and create a foundation or create a new job source or a new company of that nature to provide jobs? I don't remember that, but he takes accountability for all the good things and denies all the bad. That is bad character right there. The farmers out there are making jobs for people. Businessmen out there making jobs. Businessmen and women are making jobs for people. Those local businesses are making jobs for people. Not Biden himself. But it sounds good, but you're not the ones actually doing it. You know what I mean? All that. And also, he was trying to introduce the Ukrainian president, the Ukrainian leader. And he ended up saying, welcome President Putin, who is the Russian leader. And he said it twice before he realized he said the name wrong. That's very bad. And also, he at one point said Vice President Trump instead of Vice President Harris, really into Kamala Harris. That's terrible in itself right there. Can't get his names right. And big moments. He did smile more, which is kind of nice, but a smile is kind of strange. But at least he shows some emotion. Don't be selfish. Do not be selfish. How can you be a president and be selfish? I see both these guys as selfish people overall. Why? It's what I did. I did this. I did that. And a lot of times, when he was discussing the press conference, he was like, I'm not trying to talk about myself here, but then he would boost himself up and try to put someone down. It's like saying, I'm not being racist, and then you say something that's completely racist. It's like, you can't say something like that and then follow up with something like that. What you said before will just take away what you just following said. That doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't. He just kept putting down Trump over and over again. And it's like, this is your press conference. The idea of saying, why is Trump out there on the golf course doing this stuff? Why? Because he's not the president. He doesn't have to. Whenever he was on the stage, whenever he had to cash in the checks, he cashed them in phenomenally. Whenever you had to, you failed. All of them got bounced. None of them were cash because you failed on the debate live, and you have to make up ground now. That's not his fault. That's yours. If you don't want him to be on the golf course and doing what he does, maybe you should have done a better job whenever the whole world, especially this country, was watching you on all platforms. And you embarrass yourself. And now you're trying to come back. Can't be selfish. Stop talking about exactly what you do and give credit to the American citizens for what they've done. Again, opening jobs. The American citizens are the ones who are opening jobs. We're the ones having to do it. We're the ones working minimum wage at times to provide for our families, which you don't seem to respect at all since you've not had to deal with the idea of what it's like to live paycheck to paycheck for the past 60 years. You've not had to worry about that, and there's no relatability. There's none at all. You would love a guy that you can relate to some extent. You can't relate to the guy at all. He's been in higher power with these decisions with no pressure at times of having to lose. With no pressure of if I don't do my job, I'm going to get fired and my family's at risk. He doesn't have to worry about that. He never had to. So how can you relate to a country that a lot of people are struggling for jobs in this, and you're opening jobs up, but you're saying you're the one who does it instead of what we do and what we go for? I know I'm young, but guess what? I'm in the workforce still. I work. A lot of people in my school, they work. Teachers work. I see a lot of people who work, and they don't get paid a whole lot. And I believe people who work very hard like they do and get paid undervalued get disrespected a lot by people like in the political realm and by a lot of people with a lot of money that say, I did this. No, you did not. We're the ones needing this stuff. You don't need anything. A lot more people will do a lot more things when you change the word I can do it to I need to do it. Yes, businessmen and women and political people can do stuff to help people out, but they don't have to. People that live in poverty or under a very lower middle class or under poverty level, they need to do stuff. They're the ones going out there working 2 jobs and trying to find stuff for their families. You got to respect that. And they don't. They don't. Go down. And how do you show respect to people that are in bad situations? When bad events happen, you go down and you show yourself there and say, we will stand together. Instead of standing up at your own rally with your security and everyone there in the White House or anywhere, going up to Milwaukee or going up to Madison, Wisconsin, going up wherever you need to go, going down to Atlanta. About to go down to where Hurricane Barrow hit and go check on those people there. That people got affected down there. You can have your security and everything down there that you need to. Go down there and say, I will stand with you and I will help you out as much as I can. There's a lot of islands that relate to the country got hit. A lot of states got affected by it. Even up in New York, they had a tornado outbreak just happen. Why don't you go out there and say, I'm going to stand with y'all during this tough time? Why not do that? Why sit at your own luxury house, luxury place, and not go out there and stand with the American people and then say, I got you these jobs? No, you didn't. We worked for them and we created jobs because some of us feel compassion for others that are barely making it by, so we gave them opportunities. I'm not saying I did that. I'm not trying to say I'm the one who've made jobs. No. But I've seen people who've done it, and they're incredible people. But there's a lot of people out there that make jobs that do not get the respect that they need, or deserve, I should say, for it. And it's just annoying to see that. Why? It's selfishness. Another thing, give people chances. Stop. It's so upsetting at times seeing people who are very young, my age or a little bit older, that make a mistake that isn't so severe that should be life-changing, but people put them down so hard for stuff, for very minimum things, that if you probably did that you probably did worse, but you're not famous. You're not the ones getting put in the spotlight. So you try to act like you're perfect. You're not perfect. You deserve other chances. Do you believe these 2 candidates, do you think any one of them would give young people or anybody who's been to jail for minor offenses, get major offenses, that's a different story, minor offenses, or had a bad break, or have been fired repeatedly for stuff that they've got better on character-wise, has been shown, people that are homeless or former veterans that need jobs, are you willing to give them a second chance? Do you feel like one of these 2 candidates are willing to give these people a second chance? Because if you don't, we have a serious problem. Because what you say and what you do are 2 different things. And what you say can make us feel good for a day. Your actions can make can make you want to reelect you. And that's 4 years. What you say lasts for a day. Your actions can last a lifetime. That's a huge thing. Those are huge things. Next up, do your jobs. Do your job because each role is important. Each role you have is important. I remember like, let's say I work at a produce place. I'm one of the stock people. Do I need to do my job well? Yes, because we need stuff out. We need stuff out at all times. And if I don't do that for my shift, and the next person comes in, and they have to do double, by the morning of the next day, that stuff is not going to be filled. That stuff will not be filled fully. And guess what? They will have a tough time filling up. And then the next person will have a tough time filling it up. And it might take 3 to 4 shifts to get what I made a mistake upon, or what I chose not to do to make up for my mistake. Now imagine someone who's in political office, who makes decisions on everyone's life, making just not good decisions, or choosing to step back when they should step in, and letting bad things just happen. Just go without any stoppage. You can relate that to a lot of things that either Trump or Biden have done. That's your opinion on it. If you think any of them have done that, that's something you need to take in consideration. Because that's very bad. And the last thing I want to mention, motivate others to be great. I don't see motivation when it comes to Biden. Trump, I see some. I've seen Trump talk, and I'm like, well, that's pretty good. I don't see Biden's motivation. I hear him talk to press conferences. Sometimes it's mumbled. Sometimes he sounds half dead. Sometimes he can sometimes sound strong. But whenever he does sound strong, it's very repetitive things. It's a lot of times it's very repetitive, and it's annoying at times. It's like, can't you say something new? What you said during the debate is gone. You put all your chips out, and it just went against you every single time because you did not execute well. Do you have to mention NATO every 10 seconds? Can you start talking about other stuff? It seemed like the only things he mentioned are jobs. These are 3 things he mentioned. Jobs that he has made, the economy, and anything related to NATO. Those are the 3 things. Over a 3.5-year thing, those are the 3 things he's done. Are they pretty good? If they're all him, yes. But I believe Finland would have probably gone into NATO because there's a whole war going on right next to them and they want protection. I think that's a big thing. When it comes to the economy, I don't follow the economy status perfectly, but I remember for a while, gas in some states were $7 to $8 a gallon. That stuff was not happening before. There's no reason for, even after a pandemic, other countries were not having those problems, and they were under the pandemic for way longer than we were. We were one of the last ones to get into it and the first ones to try to get out of it. Where it comes the idea of putting people into their houses and you stay there. You can't come out. You can't go to these schools. You can't go to work. You must work from home. You must learn from home. We're one of the first ones. We're one of the last ones to go into it and one of the first ones to go back out. And it changed completely. The economy just flipped repeatedly and it took a while to come back. I would expect things to start coming back down. Because at one point, you bring a rock so high, you bring up a boulder so high up a mountain, it's about to start falling at one point. Does it mean the boulder did something successful? Did you mean you did something successful? Whenever you put something so high and it rolls, it's going to reach the ground at some point. But it's just the bar has changed. It's going to look different. Oh, look at the feet it's gone down. Well, yeah, you put it at a higher elevation. You put it higher up on the mountain. Of course it's going to roll further down. It's like, well, the percentages of the economy have gone down better. The prices have gone down. Well, duh, the bar was pretty high from the start. So stuff like that. And again, he took questions. A lot of them are just talking about, are you able to run for president? Do you think you're medically fit enough to go for president? Mentally capable of? Some George Clooney doesn't want you to run for president. Okay, it's George Clooney. Okay. That stuff didn't make sense to mention that. But when Biden is asked those questions, he says, I'm medically fit, I'm physically fit, medically fit, physically fit, and mentally fit. I don't see it. Your actions talk louder than your words. Pretty much. That's what it is. And he doesn't look healthy. He's not proven anything to me that he's healthy. probably nothing to you that he's healthy. And it's just sad. And I wish he was better. But we got two older men going at it. And again, we went through everything here. I'm going to reread the quote I started off with. People won't remember what you say. They'll remember how you made them feel. Do either of these two presidents make you feel good, make you feel comfortable, make you feel secure? If they don't, we might be in some 4 years of more of a debacle than we just had, and that says a lot. We've not had, I would say, comfortableness within the presidency in a while, and I would love for that to change. I remember when people talk about, like the last president I've heard people talk about that they felt really secure about. It's like, you know what happens? We got this guy, which was Ronald Reagan, was a guy that, you know what, anything is going to happen, this guy got our back. We trust him throughout every situation. That's been since the 80s. You know what's happened since then? A lot. A lot of things happened since then. So, stuff of that nature. It's just not comforting when you have two people this nature that you have to question their character so much on what's good, and half the country believes this and half the country believes that, and it's sad, it's annoying, and as someone who's young, it's not comforting. I've not had a president that I've seen people respect. I mean, Obama was there. A lot of people didn't respect his policy. The Obama plan people did not respect. As a kid, what Michelle Obama did to our lunches at school was terrible, making them healthy. Whenever we were in the most obese countries, in the most obese country in the world, and we're trying to make these lunches healthy at school by putting a fruit cup and taking away my Rice Krispie treats. I'm still fat. I eat a lot of Oreos at my house anyways. I would eat Krispy Kreme donuts anyways. Give me them at school. Because you let me have desserts. You gave me ice cream. And then the next day you gave me broccoli. And I'm like, what? Why? Broccoli's not bad, but I'm 9. I want these desserts, please. And she took that away. That's the main thing I remember about the Obama thing. But a lot of people, though, my memorization, did not feel comfortable at times with Obama, or just didn't like what he did. It didn't feel good about him. Trump, half the country was split upon that. So we did not feel united. And then Biden hit, and it split. It split worse than an old watermelon. It split and it went everywhere. You go to this state, they believe this. This state believes this. These counties believe this. This region believes this. It went everywhere. And it's not good. It's not good for the country. It's not good for this. Character decides more than words, especially at this time. And we got to focus on that. What Biden says, a lot of stuff is repetitive, I would say. His press conference started an hour later than it was supposed to be. That's kind of strange. But he did it. He went out there for an hour, hour and a half, whatever he talked about. He took the questions. He stood there. He did better than what I thought. If I had to give a score, which I'm going to give it Biden. We're going to give him 14 points. He did better than last time. Not by much, but better. And we're going to give Republicans, what's the score? 42? We're going to keep that 42. So 42 Republican, 14 Biden. Republicans are still very far ahead, in my opinion. It's going to take a miracle for Biden to get back in the race. He has time, but remember, actions speak louder than words. So start acting better, and things might just fall in your way. Put out a comment your own opinions about this. Hope you have a great day, y'all. Stay safe. And remember, God bless y'all.